Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for taking time out of your day to come and hear this presentation. My name is Primo. I am the president and founder of Specialist Trading, as you see here in front of you. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with our site, we really feel that we are your online source for education in trading all of the markets, virtually from anything from the stock market to the E-mini to the Forex markets as well. Just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I see there are some new faces here. I've been trading for 36 years. I started my career on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange. I was on the floor for 16 years, and 9 of those years I was a specialist for Donaldson, Lufkin, and Gen Red. As I always state, and I mention a lot in my classes, I've seen and heard and traded just about everything out there imaginable. I traded through the crash. I traded through the bull market that followed afterwards. And I've traded in just about every type of market condition. I've traded systems, strategies, different day trading techniques. So I really went through a lot, and I've really accumulated a lot of knowledge in my 36 years of trading. And I want to speak about something today, which I'm very excited about. And this is a new program which we're offering to all of our new members here. This is the Specialist Trading Elite Stock Trading College. Now, we've had colleges before where there are consecutive classes, live classes, which I teach to you online. But we've only had them for the Forex markets and for the E-mini markets. This strategy is just for those markets alone. And this is the very first time I'm excited to announce that we're actually having this for the stock market. So we're going back to my roots, and I'm going to be teaching you some great strategies that work really well and consistently in the stock market over a period of roughly 6 weeks. But before we begin, I want to go into detail and tell you exactly what's going to be offered in the college and show you some of the things we're going to be discussing in the college. I'd like you just to take a moment to view our disclaimer. As you know, we're required to show you this. I'm not going to guarantee that any of the performance results I'm about to show you will be repeated in the future, so we have to make you aware of that. But please remember that we're showing you this in good faith, and take a moment to view our disclaimer before we begin the presentation. And as you're doing that for a second, I'd also like to mention as well to the new people who are viewing me for the first time that I love to take questions. I love to take all of your questions, but please wait till the very end of today's presentation to ask any questions. This won't be very long, probably only about 25 or 30 minutes at most. I'll go over all the things that are offered in the college and all the different things we're going to be teaching, as well as a great discount we're offering you for attending today. And then we'll go over some questions, okay? So please, if you do have a question, just wait till the very end. I promise I'll get to each and every one of your questions then. I'll also give you a phone number as well as an email address. You can contact our trade representatives, and they can answer any question you may have. You can email us, and you can ask us any question as well. Okay? So kindly wait till the end. Now, I'd like to start off by telling you exactly what I learned from trading on the floor of the exchange, because I really make no bones about this. My first year trading, I had an extremely difficult time. I just couldn't seem to make ends meet. And I really was very discouraged, and I'm sure a lot of you are probably going through this right now with your trading, regardless of what market or time frame you trade. And so I know how difficult it can be and how discouraging, and how you feel like, well, I want to give up, or maybe this is not really what I should be doing. Well, my mentors actually sat me down and talked to me. These were elite traders on the floor. And what they explained to me were certain things that I had to include and had to exclude from my trading. Because here's what they stated. They said, Steve, in order to have successful trading should be as simple as possible. Okay, now I looked at my trading plan, and I saw that I had about 20 indicators on my screen. I was subscribing to a ton of newsletters at the time, which are comparable to trading rooms for now, and I was virtually immersed in every type of news that was coming out, every type of economic report or earnings. And so my trading plan was extremely complicated. And what they said was, Steve, anyone can complicate their trading. It's the easiest thing in the world to complicate your trading, but it's the most difficult thing in the world to simplify it. So I started stripping away and excluding these things that for years I was taught would make me successful, and as I could see, they weren't. So I started slowly but surely stripping them away, and I learned that successful trading really should be as simple as possible. All of our strategies have maybe 5 rules tops to them. At the same time, trading should be consistent. Well, what does that mean? Well, my trading, if you saw me in the first year, was like a roller coaster. I would have 3 or 4 fantastic months where I would make enormous amounts of money, and then I'd have 1 month where I lost everything. I gave it all back. And it looked, if you looked at my P&L statement, it looked like a roller coaster. If you looked at an equity chart, it was going straight up and then straight down, straight up and straight down. So that is the opposite of consistency. We don't want to be having that type of trading account or equity curve in our trading. What we want to have is this really nice upward, slowly upward sloping equity curve from all of our trading results, okay? So it should be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We know from time to time we'll have losses or we'll have small drawdowns, but this is okay. This is part of being consistent. We want to make sure we're 2 steps forward, 1 step back with our trading. And then lastly, he said, Steve, successful trading should make you a part of the process. So what does that mean? Well, too many traders, I feel, are losing today, regardless of stocks, forex, or the E-mini, because they take themselves out of the game. You're relying too much on what someone is saying in a trading room or a chat room, or you're watching some guy on TV and he's making all the decisions for you, or maybe you're just relying too much on indicators, but you have no say at all in the process. So see, what you've done is you've taken yourself out of the game. You're not a part of the process. So we want to make you a part of the process, and this is what we do in the college and with all of my strategies. We give you the knowledge and the expertise that I've accumulated over 36 years so that you can apply this to the process, okay? Because our strategies are roughly 70% rule-based with 30% allotted for discretionary input. So this is my goal, to teach you the same things that were taught to me. Remember, I said I struggled tremendously the first year I was trading. I thought it was going to be simple, and I really didn't think there was going to be much more time left for me as a specialist. It wasn't until my mentors turned my way of thinking around that I got on that road to consistency. And so this is what I want to teach you. The same things that were taught to me, the same things that have sustained me for 36 years are the same things I try to teach to all of my students and members, and hopefully in the stock course, new stock college, I'll be teaching. That's my goal, is to teach you how to trade with the same specialist edge. All right, so here's what we're going to be covering in the course. I'm going to go down some of the categories which we'll be discussing and covering. We're going to start out with different tools and techniques that we use. They pretty much make up the philosophy behind specialist trading. Now, these are tools and techniques that are incorporated in just about all of our methods, but at the same time, you can use these tools and techniques and apply them to any strategy you're currently using. You can actually build your own strategy based off of them, and then we'll show you different ways in which to actually trade them independently and of themselves. So let's start out with an edge that we really incorporate in probably 99.9% of all of our trading methods. And this is a simple tool designed to place you on the right side of the market in any time frame and in any direction. Now, I just want to show you an example here going back to just a couple of months ago in UPS. As we can see here, going into February, UPS had a tremendous run-up, as we can see. Now, someone just off site value would say, well, this is great. Unfortunately, I missed the entire run-up. And this chat room I belong to is saying that UPS has to be shorted because we've hit some type of a top. It's looking like it's going to roll over. And so you wait for a couple of days because you're kind of scared to get in. And then you see that ultimately UPS does start to fall out of bed. So you don't want to miss it. You jump on in because, once again, this chat room or this trading expert you're following is saying it's going all the way back down to the very bottom again. So you jump in and sell, and look what happens. Goes right back up. In fact, in a couple of weeks, it's making new highs. It's not only stopped going down, it's actually going higher. Does this look familiar to anyone? This is the way I used to trade. I used to jump in right at the bottom to go short, and I used to jump in right at the top to go long. Well, this tool is great because it will tell you the right side to be on, and in which fact it would have never even said to sell it. It would have been looking for buy opportunities in UPS. So this is a great edge. Another edge we're going to be discussing and talking about is a simple entry technique. It's designed to fine-tune your entries, resulting in higher percentage trades. You know, a lot of traders lose, a lot of stock traders lose, not because they're on the wrong side of the market. Maybe they should be actually buying, and it is the right thing to do. It's just that their entry technique is flawed. So we want to fine-tune your entry technique. Let me show you what I mean here. Here's an example in Tiffany. Now, someone could look at this and say, well, you know, the way I trade, Steve, is I like to trade off of support and resistance. And right here, there's some resistance right here. Now, if Tiffany breaks out, I'm going to jump in and buy. Well, so you wait, and the very next day, what do you see? It breaks out, so you jump in and buy, okay? Well, all right, so we go in and we jump in and buy there if you're using this particular method, and then look what happens, okay? It goes straight down. Now, in all actuality, it wasn't wrong to be long Tiffany, as I'll show you in just a few seconds. It was just that your entry technique was faulty, all right? So what we do is we teach you that this was actually a right idea to be purchasing Tiffany. It's just that using this technique, this is where you would purchase Tiffany, down here at these lower levels. And so what would eventually happen is once Tiffany started to go up in the direction that you want it to go, as we see here, you would have had very little drawdown. You would have been stopped out, as you most likely would have been stopped out had you purchased it originally right here. So it wasn't wrong to be looking to go long Tiffany. It was your entry technique that was flawed, and so we teach you the specific technique as well. We also talk about exits. We have a variety of both aggressive and conservative exits. Now, some of our exits are based off of a specific mathematical formula telling you where to exit. Another technique is designed off of an indicator, so it's dynamic. We're waiting to see what the indicator does. But let me just show you one of our fixed exits here. This is a trade we actually had, and we signaled to all of our members. This was strategy number 4, for example, in IWM. This is the ETF for the Russell 2000 going into February. It signaled a long trade here, right, going into February. And had you taken the most generic exit from this particular strategy, you would have exited right here and made a point or two real quickly in just one day. But you can also use our more aggressive types of exit to exit at point 2 or even to exit at point number 3. So this is all taught you in the class, how to do this. This is just one technique, as we say here. There are many other ways in which to exit. This is just one I'm sharing with you. One of the beauties about this particular technique is when you use it to its advantage, many times when you exit at the third and final exit, the market will change entirely and start to drift into a lower or a different trend. Now, this not only works if you're going long, we can use the same technique going short. Here was another signal just last April, just last month, to go short Caterpillar Tractor, an entirely different strategy altogether, but you could have gotten short here in the middle of April, and using the first 2 fixed exits, you could have exited anywhere here and even exited at the third exit. What a lot of our traders like to do is if they have multiple positions, maybe they're holding 300 shares, maybe just 30 shares, it really doesn't matter, you would sell a 30-year position at each and every point. And as we stated earlier, the beauty of this particular technique is that so many times at the third and final exit, the trend will change, and so it'll get you in and out at the perfect times. So that's one example of the exit techniques we will be sharing with you. How about stops? So this is another more important piece of the puzzle. You have to always protect yourself regardless of what time frame or direction you're trading. So we have 4 initial stop placements which we teach you. These can be anywhere from tight, conservative stops to more aggressive stops where they have a little bit more risk attached. We also teach you 3 different moving stop placements, different techniques to move your stop and to track the trade. A lot of traders like to stay in and squeeze as much profit as possible. And say you have a really nice winner that's going in your direction, you can apply these moving stop placements, these proprietary techniques which I've learned and use in my own trading. All right, so let's get on to the strategies. This is what you want to hear about, I'm sure. We have 3 strategies. These are our most consistent strategies in our stock trading program, and these are the ones we're going to be teaching you. Okay? They incorporate what we talked about earlier, these edges, as well as these different exits and stop techniques. But there's a lot more that goes into them. Many of them are based off of pattern recognition. Some are just based off of indicators. But we'll explain everything in detail when we go into the course. Let's talk about the first strategy we'll talk about is strategy number 1. This is probably our premier swing trading type of strategy because it really is designed to catch those really nice swing moves. If you're looking for stocks that have this kind of a really nice kind of a stalling in a movement and then a nice pullback and then a nice swing upward, the trades can last anywhere from a week to possibly a couple of months, then strategy 1 is the strategy that you should be using. Here's an actual signal that was issued to all of our members on the 26th in BWLD. This made a quick nearly 5 points using strategy number 1 techniques in just about a week. Now strategy 1 can also be used to the downside. We saw all those really great swings to the downside when Apple was in its downward course at most of last year and coming into this year. And as you see here, these were actual signals generated using strategy number 1, our premier swing trading strategy. Now we realize that a stock such as this, as Apple, is a little bit too rich for some traders' blood. It's very expensive. You could have easily applied options to higher priced stocks such as this. All right, so that was strategy number one. Let's say you want to be trading in any time frame. Let's say you'd like to have a strategy that really transfers over not into daily bars, but also into weekly bars and also into intraday bars. Well, then strategy number four is for you, because this is probably our most popular strategy among stock traders because it transfers so well onto each and every time frame in these markets. Here's some actual signals going in HSY, starting from the beginning of the year all the way till mid-April. We see how we had a really nice uptrend, and all the way we had some nice quick purchases. Now, strategy number four is designed to take those quick momentum trades. We're not going to be in the trade a long time, but we can also show you how to stay in longer if you really feel there's more gains to be squeezed out. So this was in HSY. It also works to the downside. This was in Newmont Minings. We also see an NEM in a downtrend. All of these nice, real quick sell signals. These were all, once again, signals. If you remember, understood the rules, you could have taken each and every one of these. Now, these are really great signals, and because we had a really strong trend in both of these examples, we had some really nice gains and some really nice consecutive trades. But we're more concerned with consistency. From time to time, we will have some losers, but we're really more concerned that you have this nice consistency in your trading. And also, once again, the beauty of strategy 4 is that it's able to transfer on into any time frame. Now, here's a 10-minute chart of Microsoft. We see here going back to the middle of April, and it was in a nice uptrend. And look at all the signals that were generated to the upside because we were in an uptrend. We're not going to try and fight the trend. But as we were going up, we just continued to issue all these nice buy signals using strategy number 4 on a 10-minute time frame. Okay, now let's talk about our third and last strategy. That's strategy number 8. And I'm excited about this because this is a brand new strategy. I've been trading it for a while, but we've never really issued it to any of our members. And even though we've had some initial testing done on it, on other markets and other time frames, I feel it works the best just in the stock markets, mainly on daily bars. It's not an intraday strategy. You can use it on longer term bars such as weekly or even monthly, but I think you get the best results from this. And the way it's designed is so many times you'll see a really large run in a stock, either to the upside or to the downside. And so many times you'll say to yourself, boy, there's just no way it can go higher. It's like squeezed all of its gain out that it can. But strategy number 8 with its proprietary tool really finds those stocks that still have a little bit more momentum left in it, a little bit more gain. And even though you think it may have gone up way too high or way too low, there are still some more gains to be taken out of this particular, using this particular strategy. Here's an example in CAG in February and in April. We see here that it just went straight up. At this point, you're probably thinking it can't go up much higher, and then we still squeeze some gains out of it. And then the same thing here. Even at this point, people, after seeing this nice downward move, are thinking the stock had finally ended and was coming much lower. But as we see here, just a month ago, we issued another buy signal in CAG. And the same thing works for stocks that have really strong downward moves. We see here that TDC was in a really strong downward move in February going into April, but we still had some really nice signals to go short using strategy number 8. So this is designed for particular moves when you think there's just no way it can go much lower or much higher, and it's able to pinpoint what those stocks are that have some more room left in them. Now, these are the 3 strategies excuse me, we're going to be sharing with you. I feel these are our most consistent strategies to date, and they work the best with stocks, as I said. But with a few minor alterations, a few things that I can teach you personally, they also work great with ETFs, with futures markets, from the E-mini to the the Russell, the mini Russell, to Forex markets as well, and onto commodities. We have some people that swear by using this with commodity markets as well, such as crude oil and gold. So these are great strategies that if you want, you can transfer over onto other markets. It's almost as if you're buying a course that can fit other markets as well. Now, along with the course, we're going to offer you 2 extra bonuses. These are 2 things we're throwing in just for our attendees and just for the people signing up for the course. And these are really, really great techniques that I apply in my trading that I currently use all of the time and that have really helped sustain me throughout my years. The first one is the ATM. No, it's not a money-making machine, but I'll explain to you exactly what it is. And the second one is the PET-D, and I'll explain to you exactly what that means. Let's start off with the ATM, okay? No, it's not an automatic teller machine. What it is it's advanced trade management. So what exactly is the ATM? It's a technique designed to tell you, by using a mathematical formula and by tracking your trades, it's designed to tell you when your strategy is not performing up to par. And so by using this ATM technique, you can either choose to sit on the sidelines, or you can choose to maybe lower your position size or whatever if it's going into some type of drawdown. It's a fantastic technique that has really, literally saved me thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in my career. Let me show you what I mean here. Here's a common chart where we see some green arrows where there were strategy signals which work perfectly. Because they're in green, they mean they were profitable and they worked well. And this is the way we want to see things happen. This is when everything's working great. And what this means is that your strategy is currently in sync with the current market conditions, because it's working well, it's in sync. It's as if you're going with the ebb and flow of the market. But we all know that that's the most opportune way for things to happen, but that doesn't happen all the time. In fact, a lot of times you're going to see this. These are the same strategy, there's the same strategy signals, the same rules, but look, when applied to a market that is out of sync, when they're out of sync with each other, you get a whipsaw environment, and you get this series of losses, which really puts you in some type of sustained drawdown in your P&L. So what if there was some type of tool or technique that could keep you out on the sidelines in advance, or at least when before it got too bad, where you could be able to sidestep all of these losses? This is what the ATM does. We teach you how to apply this with your strategies. It's a simple tool that you apply on top of your strategy, and it shows you when you're in sync with the market and when your strategy is not. So this is a great extra bonus, as well as the PET D. Okay, what exactly is the PET D? Well, I'm really proud of this. The PET D is simply the Primo Early Trend Detector. Okay, well, what exactly is the Primo Early Trend Detector? This is something fairly new. I designed it. This is something that I currently use. I've been using for a long time, but I currently use it in virtually all markets. This is regardless if I'm trading stocks or the Forex markets or the E-mini markets. It doesn't really matter. It's such a great tool, and we're only going to be offering it in our course. This is not something we're going to be offering individually as of yet. This is just for course members. And so what exactly is it? Well, it's a color bar system. And what it does is it colors your bar. It's a proprietary color bar system where it either signals that the bar is green or that the bar is red. If it's signaling the bar is green, it's giving you an early trend detection that we are going upwards. If it's signaling that the bar is red, it's telling you that there's an early trend detection that we're going lower. And so this is a fantastic tool for determining the trend in advance most of the time before it even happens. Let me show you some examples here. This was an AIV. As we see coming into the year, you see the majority of the bars here, the color bars, are in green. And so it tells you which direction you should be trading. And once you know which direction you should be trading, you can apply any strategy to that direction. So this is what we want to do. It's not an actual trading system or strategy. What it is it's a great frame of mind telling you which direction you should apply a strategy. So when you see green bars, you know that you're only going to be looking to go long, and vice versa if you see red bars. Now I want to show you this example. We showed you a daily chart of Apple, but looking on a weekly chart, if you had had any type of advance warning how bad Apple was going to be, you would have, I'm sure, as an investor, really taken heed to that warning. Well, we see here, going back to October of 2012, we had 3 consecutive bars here that were in red, telling you an early trend detection to the downside. So look what happened with Apple after that. This is the beauty of how this tool and indicator works. And I'm really proud of it. It's something that I designed and I use currently. And if you're an intraday trader, you can use it on daily bars as well, or you can use it on 5 or 10-minute bars. I want to also show you an example here of something that's current. We're not just looking back at weekly older charts. This is an article that came out with NBC News just a couple of weeks ago, May 13th. The electric car maker Tesla defies skeptics. Basically, what it's saying is that they had fantastic earnings. Tesla reported this past week its first ever profit of $11.2 million. So it's great news. If you want to read the entire article, it came out on the 13th under NBC News. Great news for Tesla. This is the electric car company. And someone looking at this offhand would say, boy, this is great. If they trade the way I used to trade by just, being like a leaf at the mercy of the wind, whatever the news was, if it's good news, buy. If it was bad news, sell. Most people would have jumped in right here and said, boy, this is a great investment. I'm going to buy Tesla on May 14th. Well, if we look at the chart, this is when the news earning report came out. And it definitely did go up higher once it came out. But if we look back as far as the beginning of April, the end of March, the PET D started to give consecutive green bars. In fact, it gave a couple of weeks of green bars right here going into April, end of March, beginning of April. So in advance, it was telling you that we have a most likely an uptrend in Tesla, that you should be looking to go long prior to any type of news announcement. So this is what we teach you in the course. Remember, how to become a part of the process, not to rely on too many outside sources, but to rely on a few simple tools that have stood the test of time and that you can apply your strategies or your own techniques to. Now here's what traders are saying. If you even want to do a Google search on specialist trading or on myself, Stephen Primo, you can see there's a lot of positive response. We really don't have a lot of people speaking negatively about what we teach because, as we stated, we're not simply a signal generating company. We are an educational firm. And what we want to do is teach you how to empower yourself with the same tools and techniques that a specialist uses, an elite floor trader uses, but something that will make your trading consistent, regardless if you've been trading for 36 years like myself or if you've been trading for 36 days. It doesn't matter what level of trader you are. In fact, I want to read you something that was submitted by a hedge fund trader, and what he actually wrote into us and said, "Primo's mentoring has been a cornerstone of my career over the last 25 years. As I type this note, 26 of 40 positions in our portfolio are from a swing strategy of Primo's that I specialize in. Primo's greatest gift was separating me from my emotions and teaching me to listen to the market." This comes from Bikini Analytics. This is one of the premier hedge funds on the West Coast. So once again, it doesn't matter if you're a beginning trader or if you've been trading for 25 years. I really feel that the things that I've accumulated, the things that I can teach you, as this person states, will really help your trading onto that consistent level. Remember, successful trading, just the way my mentors taught me, should be as simple as possible, should be consistent, and should make you a part of the process. So we want to keep our strategies as simple as possible. Most of them have just about 5 rules. They should be consistent. We're not going to sit here and tell you that they never lose. We will go into some small losses from time to time, but if you look overall, you're going to have this nice upward slope in your P&L, and they should make you a part of the process. We want you to be a part of the trading plan. Remember, even though we generate signals for you, we don't just want you to simply take them blindly without having any regard or understanding of how the process works. I want you to be a part of the process and understand exactly how it's working and show you the ways in which you can actually alter it to fit your needs. Remember, as I stated, my goal is to teach you, not to trade for you, but to teach you how to trade with a specialist edge, which is rooted in simplicity. It's the same edge that actually turned my trading around roughly this past 36 years. All right, so let's recap. What do we talk about today? What are we going to be offering in the college for you? Here's what we have. We have weekly trading tools and techniques. I'm going to be giving you basically the philosophy behind specialist trading, and these are weekly videos and kind of mini seminars that I give to you that I record and submit to all of my members. Just little different techniques and tips to elevate your trading. We're also giving you, in my opinion, our 3 most consistent strategies. Strategies number 1, number 4, and number 8. In the strategies, we teach you exact stop placement, exact exit points, and our placement of our stop. And so that we teach you all of that stuff in proprietary entries as well as proprietary exits and stop placements. We also have a nightly signal service. Remember, we're giving you these signals for educational purposes so you can understand how the process works. In other words, if we give a buy signal in IBM, I want you to understand and say that's exactly what I show as well. If you're looking at one of our buy signals and say, well, geez, I don't understand why Steve went along there. Well, that's why we submit those so that you can email me, ask me any questions. Remember, we can trade these either conservatively and aggressively, different versions, and we teach you how to do that. As a bonus, we're throwing in the ATM and the PET D. These are 2 great techniques which will really elevate your trading and help sustain you throughout the years. And then lastly, you're going to get 36 years of my trading experience from being on the floor as well as trading on my own. I know so many traders who just started out or have been trading for a couple of years say, well, Steve, you say that you want us to be a part of the process. I don't have enough experience to be a part of the process. I haven't been trading that long, and I don't really understand what I can give to my trading. Well, this is what I share with you. I give you my 36 years. I give you all the tips and techniques that I've accumulated, and you can pick and choose which ones you want to apply to your trading. If I share with you an aggressive technique that you feel will meet your standards, then that can be part of your discretionary input. let's say you want something more conservative, and I share with you something conservatively in the course, well, then you can use that as your input for trading. So this is what you gain within the class. Now, I just want to also share with you, remember, we are a nightly signal service. As I stated, this is what you'll see on a nightly basis in the college. This was something mailed out to our stock college members already. This is just the stock course members, I should say, on the 8th of May, just a week or two ago. Now, as you see here, you will get an email stating to go long on the 9th. These particular stocks, we tell you what the trend is, particular strategy. On this day, all the strategies were strategy number 4. We give you our entries, stop placements, exits, and these are our generic ones. So once again, just a very generic way in which to trade these, just for educational purposes. Let's look at this one particular stock, FSLR, okay? Now remember, this was issued on 5/8, the night of 5/8, for trading on 5/9. If we see here, this is the night the stock signal was issued in that particular email, all right, to go long. And just looking off face value, someone would have looked here and said, well, I really don't see any trend or any reason to go long this stock. There's no real trend. There's no real signal or clue that why you'd want to buy this. But according to our proprietary method, our proprietary requirements with Strategy 4, it was telling us to go long. So if you look here in the next couple of weeks after that, the stock went up 12 points. Now, we're not saying that you would have stayed in for 12 points, but you had 12 points room in which to apply any of my techniques. You could have used the most generic stop and gotten out probably with a quick point or two, or you could have used all the other techniques and seen if you could stay in longer. So this is the beauty of what we teach you. Remember, we're not just giving you one way in which to trade. I want you to be a part of the process. Okay, so here's what we offer you, the Elite Stock Trading College. It's 6 weeks of detailed instructions, 3 proprietary strategies. We tell you all the entries, exits, and stops. Signal alerts, just the way I showed you a few seconds ago. Weekly webinars. We also give you 2 bonuses, the Advanced Trade Management, the ATM, as well as the Primo Early Trend Detector, which is only going to be for course members. That's the PET D. Full access to all the strategy rules and my personal email address. You have access to me whenever you like. You can email me at 2 in the morning. If I'm awake, I promise I'll get right back to you. Now, this complete course, if you actually took all the things we're going to be offering individually, all the ATM, the PET D, each individual course, it would cost close to $5,000. We've discounted it down to $29.95. But for the people coming to these webinars, which we like to give from time to time, we're going to give you a special early bird discount of $24.95. Remember, this is 6 weeks of live instruction where we will be setting a time and date for you to go to these particular classes and learn live from me. This also includes 1 year of trade signal alerts, okay? So you're going to be getting those emails and those signal alerts for 1 year. And I guarantee you, after the first couple of months, you'll know the strategies like the back of your hand. You'll be able to spot them on your own. So this is a great, great deal. It's once again, if you put this all together individually, it would roughly cost you $5,000. We've reduced it down from $29.95 down to all the attendees today down to $24.95. Our way of saying thank you, and we appreciate you coming to these presentations. All right, I want to thank you for waiting to ask any questions. If you want to go do some more exploring about what we do, you can go to our sister site, which is Pro Trader Strategies. That's www.protraderstrategies.com. That's where you can see all of our individual strategies that are sold independently. Or if you want to ask a question, you can go to our head or senior trade representative, that's Don Jans, and you can email him at donjans@protraderstrategies.com, or you can call us directly at area code 310-492-5393. Now, I want to thank you once again for waiting. Anyone that has any questions, feel free to write them in right now. I just opened up the question box. I see someone asked, firstly, is this webinar being recorded? Yes, it is. So if you're interested in getting a copy of this, you can either call or email Don Jans, and he will send you the link to the recording. Okay. What is the difference between the edge number 1 and the PET D? Okay, the edge number 1, that's a great question because they're both trend detection techniques. The PET D is a little bit more fine-tuned. It's a little bit more refined. As you saw there, I don't want to backtrack, but when we showed that original, I believe that original example in AIV, I believe, the majority of the bars were green, signaling that we should be in some type of uptrend. But from time to time, you saw these red bars scattered with a few a couple of days of red bars, okay? So this is why it's a little bit more fine-tuned, but we show you how to use those opposite trending bars, in which ways to trade off of them. So I show you that in the class of different ways and different techniques. Whereas the edge number one is more of a broad-based way of saying this one technique is going to show you the broad overall trend, okay? And there's no discrepancy until something is triggered, and then we know that we're going the other way, okay? So that's a little bit more, it gives you a little bit more room to work with, whereas edge number one is more fine-tuned. That's why we say it works great in any time frame you want to fine-tune intraday trading, okay? So I hope that answers your question. Asking again, are they both meant to be on the right side of the market? Yes, they are, and we show you how to use that and exploit those with our strategies and also with different tips and techniques. Once again, so many times traders are losing money because they had a good idea, but they were on the wrong side of the market, as I showed you in that UPS example. Maybe we can have a couple of days of really selling off tremendously, and you think that, well, that's it, we're going into a downward trend, and then it goes right back up and it's making new highs. Well, the PET D and this other indicator or this other edge can show you which side you should be on. Okay, so they're really great tools for getting you on the right side of the market. What platform to implement your strategies? Actually that's ATM, and the PET D is the most user-friendly. Well, you can actually use the platforms we feel the best to use. These are Metastock, NinjaTrader, and TradeStation. And so they work fine, but most of our strategies, all you really need is a chart with a few indicators and being able to, to apply this, and you can pretty much see everything on your own. The only thing is the PET D, the ATM is something you have to calculate on your own, that you can probably do either on a notebook or with a spreadsheet. But other than that, it's not something, an add-on that you have to plug into the actual chart. Okay? It's just a simply nightly calculation that we teach you how to do that shows you if your strategy is working in sync with the current market environment. Now, the PET D is the only thing that you will have to add on to your current charting software, which will show you these color bars. Now, as we stated, we have this for Metastock, for TradeStation, and I believe NinjaTrader is coming up. But the strategies themselves, the strategies are things that you can actually see on your own. We have add-ons for them as well in those three specific charting software packages, but you'll be able to see each and every signal as it comes up. Also, one thing I want to also mention to the people, some people were asking in terms of attending the sessions. They were saying, well, Steve, I want to be a part of the college. I just can't attend at these times. I'm working during the day. If you happen to have it while I'm working, don't worry. We are going to be recording each and every one of these sessions. So let's say we had one, let's say on a Thursday afternoon, or let's say we had it on a Saturday and you couldn't make either one. Don't worry, we would record it, and then you could later that evening go and see the entire class through the recording. Okay. Also, one thing I wanted to mention, that these add-ons are also going to be available on MT4 as well. So for anyone asking about that charting software package. But please remember that this particular presentation is recorded as well. Simply contact Don Jans, our senior trade rep, and he can send you the link. You can call him or email him at the email address provided. I'm really excited about this stock trading course because, as I stated, it's the first time we've done this, and we're offering you these extra bonuses, which I really feel are going to elevate your trading and at least get you on that road to consistency. Remember, I stated it's not so much about hitting home runs. When I was on the floor, I knew tons of traders that hit home runs, and I can venture to say that there are maybe just a few traders that are still trading today. Most of those traders were wiped out. They've lost everything. So it's really not that big of a deal in order to, say you've made hundreds of thousands or so much of a percent one year. There's no way that can be sustained if you don't have proper consistent methods, and this is what we hope we can teach to you. When is the first session scheduled? Hi, Dom. This is Dom. This is Steve, and thank you, Dom, for attending. He's a course member in another course. We don't have the actual date yet, but we're looking at sometime in the beginning of June. So it'll be roughly in the next couple of weeks or so. And we're going to ask everyone, after we get all of the people signed up and ready, we're going to ask you for your input on what are the best days. We usually like to take a majority type of signal from everyone. So if everyone can do it on a weekend, that's great. If they can do it during the week, that's fine. So we'll just pick the days that are best for the majority of the group. Let me see if there are any other questions. Yes, Brett is around. Brett is working very, very hard, putting a lot of this together for me. So don't worry, Brett is around. We just expanded, and we've got some really great people working with us, Don Jans and some other people. So Brett is really pretty much supervising. But don't worry that if you're worried about where Brett, no, he's still around. Couldn't do anything without Brett. Any other questions? And I want to thank you people. I know there are some people here that have already signed up for the college, such as Don, who just asked. We're going to really thank you for joining, and come on board and join Don and myself and some other of you who have joined. I really think you're going to get a lot out of it. Any more questions before we conclude here? Let me just go back once again to that slide where we're showing you exactly what is offered. Remember, if we put all this together, it would be upwards of $5,000. We've discounted it close to $3,000, but then we've even discounted it more for the attendees today, down to $24.95. So this is a great early bird package. Remember, 3 great proprietary strategies, the ATM plus the PET-D plus 36 years of trading experience that we're really going to mold into 6 weeks of trading for you. So I really don't think you can really put a price on that you're going to be getting. If you're having struggling issues with your trading, I really think this is something that can really help you a lot. All right, so in closing, let me just show you one more time here. If you'd like to contact us, if you'd like a recording of this particular presentation, you can email Don Jans at donjans@protraderstrategies.com. He'll send you a link, or you can call us at the phone number there as well. And remember, the PET-D, which is another great thing that we're offering, can also be applied to the Forex markets, the E-mini markets. It can be applied to any market. So if you want to be trading the stock market intraday, overnight, weekly, as well as the Forex or the E-mini markets, you can apply the PET-D to those as well. We show you ways in which to use it. Okay? All right, I guess this concludes our presentation. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your Thursday to join us. I really hope you got a lot out of this, and I look forward to you all becoming members of Specialist Trading and the Elite Stock Trading College. Thanks so much for attending. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.